On this 2015 Mitsubishi Lancer so you can make yourself an informed decision. Now coming in on the front the front left tire, you got about 40% tread on all season radios, down but definitely not out. Coming behind the front left tire, this is the front left lower ball joint. Now this is critical that it's tight because it holds the wheel to the chassis, and that is tight. This is your outer CV boot. Now this boot is full of grease, and if it was ripped, you see grease all over the place. Important not to be because it lubricates the axle. This is your front brakes. You've got about, I'm going to say 10,000 K down, but definitely not out. About 10,000 K left on your front brakes. Okay, this is your left outer tie rod. Now, this is critical that this is tight. It's the only thing that holds the wheel to the steering, and it is tight. Your left sway bar link connected from here up to there. Important for that to be connected because it dampens the sway when you go around a corner. Now, this tube right here is the left shock, and it's full of oil. If it was leaking, you'd see it dripping all the way down here, good and dry. Now, the left inner CV boot, if you see for yourself, you can just get an eyeball a little harder. But again, full of grease, and if it was ripped, you see grease all over the place. And I don't see any grease, nor do I see any leaking. That's always important. Nobody wants oil on their driveway. Now, this... Okay, and as far as speaking of leaks, I'm just having a perusal on the bottom of the motor here, and I'm not seeing any indication of leaks. Now, this is your catalytic converter. Nothing wrong with it. Big problem, though. People reach down there going, cut, and you got yourself about a $1,500 repair bill. Now, that being said, if you buy the car, contact me because I'm going to put on a free catalytic theft protection system, and that's it. It's no cost. If you buy the car, I'll install it. 20 minutes, 20 minutes, I'll have you out the door, and you'll have a fighting chance of not losing your catalytic converter. Now, coming across to the front right tire, down to about 40% tread on all season radios, down but definitely not out. About 10,000 K on your front brakes, front right. Your right lower ball joint is tight. Your right outer CV boot is good and dry. The right outer tie rod is tight, again critical, and the right sway bar link from here up to there intact, doing its job. You see your shock, if you follow your tube down there, good and dry. The inner CV boot on this vehicle, a little harder to see, but yeah, let's see if we can get a shot in there. And yeah, a little harder to see, but it is good and dry. So I don't see, leak-wise, brake-wise, suspension-wise, I don't see anything of any concern on the front of this Mitsubishi. Coming down, the exhaust all intact, no cracks, no breaks. Okay, yeah. Now, your right rear tire, down about 30%, a little less tread on the rear than you have on the front. Definitely down, but not quite out. Now, your rear brakes are brand new brakes, so you got 50,000 K left on them. Now, your right rear shock, if you follow it, again, full of oil. If it was leaking, you see it leaking all the way down here. Good and dry. Your right rear suspension intact. All of your, I don't see any leaks, brake-wise, leak-wise. All your suspension is tight on the rear right side. Coming across to the rear left side, about 40% tread, a little more tread on this side than you have on the right side there. Now, following down, this is the right rear shock, and again, full of oil. If it was leaking, you see it dripping right there. That's good and dry. Brand new brakes on the rear, 50,000 K. Lots of brakes left on that. All your bushings, your connections, your suspension is tight in the left rear side. So brake-wise, leak-wise, suspension-wise, I'm not seeing anything of any concern on the rear left. Okay, with the motor running, only got 100,000 K, very low K. No cracks in your windshield, dash nice and clean. Heater blowing nice and hot. Okay, now I'm going to take you out and show you the condition of the motor. Definitely got some hail damage. Okay, with the motor running, And a shot of your exhaust, the motor running. Very, very clean. Now, something I always do is I take off the oil cap and I take a look underneath for any indication of white goo. Now, white goo would be a mixture of oil and antifreeze, which would mean an internal leak, i.e. a head gasket, and I don't see any indication of that. In fact, I don't see or hear any indication of problems in this motor at all. It's very low K, and as far as I can tell, this has been well maintained. So, hopefully this will help you make an informed decision. And remember, if you buy the vehicle, contact me, free catalytic theft protection system, and free 10% fuel saving device I have used for 20 years, never fails. And that doesn't cost you a dime, my friend. In and out in 20 minutes and you'll be on the road saving gas and a fighting chance of not losing your catalytic converter. Hopefully this will help you make an informed decision. I look forward to being of service to you. Thank you very much.